Oh no, we have too much grass. Everybody this time travel beard. And in this video, I wanted to compare my shader grass with this mod called Grassier Grass. I booted it up, and surprisingly, the two of them run together. And I did not expect that. So I kind of want to see if it's better and runs faster. And I feel like it should. And I'm really excited that the mod exists, because I feel like this sort of thing should be done as a mod instead of in a shader. The only shaders I know of that have done shader grass is mine and Eclipse. I remember that Eclipse seems to do it with a geometry shader, which usually those are considered not the best for performance, but I'm sure it runs better than mine because Icarus is such a heavy shader. All right, here we go. Grassier Grass. I like that it's blades. Mine is like a little cubes. And apparently this is really configurable. So this is pretty cool. This is the mod. Just running it, I'm getting 40 right now in these settings. So that'll be the baseline to compare later. Apparently it's really configurable. It's got entity interaction too, I guess. Let me get some friends here. I think it's a type of interaction that most games use for grass, which I'm not a big fan of, where it just kind of warps around them. Yeah. But it's effective. And this should be really configurable from what I saw. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to mess with any of this. So blades per block. On my test, I do 70. So we'll let this do 64. Blade height. I do mine up to 0.9. So I'll do that. Height variation, we'll keep that high. Blade width. Oh, that's much higher. We'll put this back to its base. So I feel like that's closer to what mine does when mine is set to 1. And a radius 100 blocks. That's pretty good. I think mine defaults at 64. Smooth gradient or segmented. Tapered. Let's see what it looks like. This is closer to the Eclipse grass. Mine is more of a taper. Let's see what this looks like for a second. That looks closer to what I do on mine. Let's see. Dense flowers. That's cool. Has brightness. Multiplier at the base of each blade. So each blade. Curve. That's not as much stuff as I expected to be in there, actually. So like 40. I'll uninstall it and look at mine. But I think like first thought is it's very effective visually. I wish you could control how patchy it was. Like mine does the same as this, where you've got like areas that are denser and shorter. But that doesn't seem controllable. I thought the wind might look goofy next to shader wind, but it generally looks okay. I'm not sure if its wind is also affecting other things, because that looks a little different than my usual wind. Yeah, it's definitely breaking stuff. So the the mod wind is applying to this shrubbery. Is applying to this flower. My carnation doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to undo this mod and look at my grass, and then I'll do Eclipse too. Okay, so I'm back in Icarus without the mod and without my shader grass on. So we've got just like a little gentle wind on everything. And this is the Patrick's pack with a few things I've added from Wilder Wild. So let's put on my shader grass and see how that. So actually, let's do a quick look. So 44. So the mod did not impact FPS, really. That's cool. I'm pretty sure my shader grass will, because I do this in a very cursed way. Like I said, I think Eclipse used geometry shaders, so it has 3D geometry like the mod does. My technique is very cursed. It is displacement and ray tracing. But what's cool about it is it does not increase the vertex count at all. It actually lowers the vertex count on some models. So mine is very efficient from a vertex standpoint. It's just very inefficient on what's on screen. Probably. All right, so we are at 38, 36, 39. So mine has more of an FPS impact on these settings. And this is what mine looks like. It's little 3D blades that have shading on their edges and stuff. And the wind is the same as the shader wind, so it doesn't break things like the shrubs and everything. They're still blowing with whatever wind the shader has. I've got grass footsteps off. I'll turn them on and look at some of the other options I've got in here. All right, so let's look at how things step on grass with me. So on my shaders, it's they kind of flatten it or wiggle it depending on the mob, and then it slowly comes back up over time. And I'm also doing it. I think if I've got it set so certain mobs don't. So like if we've got something small like a chicken or a cat, it might not do it. I'll have to get some different things. Let me get a fox. I remember Fox is doing stuff with it. And I'll get something heavy like a Ravager and a Golem. Right, this will be fun. So I remember they should flatten the grass really hard. Yeah, there we go. And Golem should fight him. They should smash it down too. And let's see. Foxes looks like they just kind of wiggle it. Giving some chickens to hunt. That was kind of fun. Let's see. This doesn't attack anyone else. So just and look at some of my settings. It takes a long time for the shader to recompile, so I'm not going to click all of these. But on mine, you choose what kind of thing they do. On style, we've got blades per block, just like they had theirs. I can put this more vanilla-ish. The height, just like it had. You can change how full the grass blades are, which if there's variable amounts of wind, if they're just colored for the biome. Could choose how patchy grass is, and how that changes like the fullness of the grass and the areas of it. You could change like the scaling on all that, which I feel is a good amount of control. The other one seemed to do stuff like this, the mod, but it didn't let you kind of control any of it. So in this you can choose like even like how big of areas do or don't have the 3D grass. So here's more vanilla. There's giant blades. It makes it easier to see the different stuff going on with it. And using your chickens to hunt. I kind of want to look now at like the patches and stuff. So see, like here, there's a spot with none. Here's a spot with none. And I'm on. I could have it grow on like the gravel and stuff too. I feel like I should do this without a resource pack. So here we are in vanilla. It's a good time. I'm gonna try Eclipse now, and then I also want to try the mod on another shader. Let's see how it does for like colored lighting and stuff like that. Alright, so in Eclipse, you just turn this on instead of foliage, and it's got some options too. I had to turn off the render scale, but it probably still runs better than the other mods. Yeah, it has no problem hitting 60 FPS. This actually looks better than I remember last time I played with it. It's a little, for my taste, it's a little too clean. Like it does have a reaction, it looks like, to the player. Again, it's that kind of warp. I'm not a big fan of that, but I understand why everybody does it. It's definitely the well, I guess I could try the mod on this shader too. I'll do that to kind of compare if that makes a difference. What kind of options we have here? World, foliage, density. I feel like that's high enough. Quality is high. Range is 40. That's fine. Waving strength, thickness, fall off. Grass randomness, strength. Let's pump that up and see if we get more kind of patchiness out of it. Just looking at it. That seems to be the direction it goes in. I'm not a fan of that. I'm going to reset this and just do the grass on its defaults. I don't want to spend a lot of time digging into the menus, and I want this to kind of just look how they intend it to. So I feel like just keeping it on high quality is probably the move to go. I see why people like it. I think it's not my taste. It definitely is cleaner than mine. And here's mine running like absolute trash. Yellow sheets. If I turn mine on to higher, it should look closer to how I usually like it, though. I'm kind of close to what the other ones do a little bit. And on mine, these little fragments are controlled by the steps in it, since it's got like a ray tracing aspect. So here we are at whatever settings I had. I'm going to see about changing the quality setting. On mine, it's kind of complicated. I do like that I've got like more control on the patches, and like you can have clearings and control all that. And then on this, I've got that you can change the size of the steps and like kind of like the LODs and the amount of steps. So I can like crank this and like turn this down. It looks like they still want to flatten it out, get a little bit grainy. I kind of want to and then I'm going to compare with another shader and then do Eclipse performance comparison. So we got looking fancy. This is pretty much the best mine's going to do for it. And let's look at Eclipse, and then we'll do the other one. So Eclipse at max frame rate with grass, I'm getting 50 FPS. That's surprising. I wonder how much of that is the mod pack here is kind of demanding, I guess. I don't feel too bad about my my shader's performance now if this is only getting 50. So with the grass, this gets 50. Icarus was getting 45. Actually, no, this is getting 42. So this, with the 3D grass, runs the same performance as Icarus. Let me turn off the... Oh, Icarus was at lower res, though. Let me turn off the grass. This doesn't run with render scaling, so it can't compare. And then still, yeah, this is doing 50. Man, I do not feel bad about Icarus's performance now as much. But again, Icarus was running at low res, but this won't. This has some really pretty visuals. This is a nice shader. Let's look at this with the grass mod now. So here we are with the grass mod, and it looks like it is having a bit of a bad time in... What is going on here? I guess because these pieces of grass aren't being animated the same. So it's getting about the same FPS as Eclipse did. You doing... Well, it's doing a little worse. About the same. But it's oddly there's some weird translucent stuff going on. And some weird kind of bugginess going on. I'm not sure what's up with that. It's weird that it would have had more compatibility with Icarus. Let's try it in another random shader. I'll do my very fast ones. We'll try them on defaults first. That seems to be fine. This is very vanilla. And then I'll try it with the PBR settings, and then see if how it works with the colored light, if it automatically works correctly with that. It's weird that it had some issues with Eclipse. I wouldn't have expected that. I guess it is going to be kind of shader specific how well it works. I mean, that's mods in general though. So let's go to nighttime. And it looks like it does not have blacklight value. So it's not getting any of the shading that the rest of the shader has. So it looks like mod or shader compatibility with this mod is going to be kind of limited, because that's two shaders it didn't look good with and one it did. Let's try one more just for fun. I'm not sure what I've got installed. Okay, it's really bugged here. Complementary is kind of like the default shader, so you'd hope it would work with this. It looks like it's working okay with this. Let's see if it does any better with nighttime lighting on Complementary. Yeah, it seems to do okay with that. It must be reading the vanilla light map. I still don't know why that would mess up on just colored lighting though. That's really weird. I imagine it would look the same on Bliss as it does in Eclipse, since Eclipse is a fork of Bliss. It looks like the lights work okay. It looks like it might not have that same translucency issue. This is a slightly older version of Bliss too. This isn't like the newest version or anything. But it does look like the grass's lighting is like slightly different than the stuff around it. Like, I think it doesn't have subsurface scattering and stuff applied to it. But it's something that, like, I don't know how well this mod allows like shader support. Again, I'm kind of surprised that it works as well as it does in Icarus. This is just on like default settings. Let me check how it does with the colored lighting though. Actually, this lighting looks like it's broken. I'll switch over to one of the PT presets. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't really detect in shaders in a reliable way, since most shaders seem to, well, some shaders seem to have a problem if they're doing their own light map stuff. I'm curious how Bliss does with the its colored lighting engine, see if that detects right in it. Yeah, that seems to work. So I'm really not sure what the what it's doing. That's funny that some shaders detect correctly and some don't. But it definitely looks really cool in Bliss. Overall, I think that for my opinion, I think that this is a really cool mod, and I think that it does where it works. I think it does better than my shader grass, and I think it looks better than the Eclipse shader grass as well. I think it's the clear winner, and the fact that you can plug it into different shaders like Complementary and Bliss, and it seems to work pretty good, like right out of the bat. I think it's the clear winner as far as quality and performance. The only downside I would say is that it seems like it's kind of hit or miss whether or not it works in different mods, or not different mods with different shaders. Overall, like I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. I wish you could control the like the patchiness of it, like you can in my Icarus ones, and but performance is good. I think visuals are good. I think it's doing a really good job for what it is, and I think I would recommend this mod. But I do think the patchiness is something that should be controllable. So you could have areas where there isn't any, and I think that for shader support, there's a little bit to be desired, since it's, but it works in some out of the bat. So that might just be weird stuff that I'm doing. But cool. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'm going to get back to kind of relaxing today, and then I'll probably play some more games or work on some shaders later. But have a good week, and I'll talk to y'all soon.